at Song Mentor, and today we're going to take you to a place where even squares can have a ball. OKIE from Muskogee was co-written by Merle Haggard, and because he spent some time in prison, his perspective on the Vietnam War protests was that it was a bit disparaging towards the troops. So he really wrote this song as a banner song for America and the troops who were fighting for that particular cause. It became probably his largest selling single and one of his most popular songs. Here's OKIE from Muskogee, Merle Haggard. All right, this is a really fun song to research because the lyrics are played with a lot. I saw Willie Nelson on stage with Merle Haggard performing this, and he changed the line about the kids all respect the college dean to the kids still all respect Jimmy Dean, old Jimmy Dean. And I think Merle Haggard is a really good musician and a smart enough guy to know that some of the standards that he lays down in this song are not still adhered to. It's a wonderful look at a life as it is proudly in the middle of America. But, I mean, he sings in the one version I saw, he sings the line, "We don't grow our hair all long and shaggy," and then has to look around at the band and kind of say, imagine that, in the middle of the song, because most of his band, including Willie Nelson, are pretty long and shaggy. So those values are there and they're important, but they're said a little bit and delivered a little bit at times tongue-in-cheek. Anyway, enough with that. Let's get on to the song. This would be a two-chord song were it not for the key change. So we're going to give you 4 chords here that you're going to play around with as far as the basic accompaniment goes. And that is, you're going to need an open E. We'll talk about the strumming in a moment. You're going to need a B bar chord. You're going to need an F bar chord. And an open C. Okay, so open E, B bar chord, F major bar chord, and open C. And those are the 4 chords you need for OKIE from Muskogee. And now let's talk about the strumming pattern. Okay, pretty basic strumming for this song. Merle Haggard is one of those guys, he's a terrific guitar player, but when he's on stage as the front man, which he is, he has a great band behind him, so he often just ends up doing the simple backup strumming, and that's what we want to get you to do in your solo version of this song. You want to be able to accompany yourself. And then later on we'll talk about some of the little add-ons that you can put in, sort of fillers, little fills and whatnot during the song. But the basic strumming pattern is pretty straightforward. We want something simple like that. And again, we're emphasizing the bass line in our chording. So we pick the low E, open E string. So we pick, down, up, pick, down, up, pick, down, up, pick, down, up. The second note we pick is the B note. Just like that. When we switch to the B chord, it's the same strumming pattern, but now our lead notes become the B and the F sharp. Simple strumming. When we key change, we end up with, and our lead notes there are the F note and the C note, the 3rd fret of the 5th string. And finally, our C chord. This one requires you to move a finger, which is, I know, maybe a little bit of a challenge there for considering what we've been playing so far. But you just take that C note and move it down to the G note on the E string. And those become our 2. Okay, the simple strumming for OKIE from Muskogee. Well, I'm really glad I listened to the original version. of this song, because I would have skipped and missed that really cool intro, which adds a lot of well, it adds a lot of learning interest to this song for sure. So let's go over this. We're going to start with our third finger on the first fret of the third string, and we're going to pick down on 3 and up on 1. 1 is open, and we're going to move that third finger from first to second to third to fourth eventually. But for starters here, from first to second to third, and each time we move it, we're going to pick down on 3, up on 1. Now when we get to 4, we're going to add our pinky to the 4th fret also of the second string. So it becomes, that pinky is added to the 4th fret of the second string. And the rhythm pattern for the picking here is, listen to that. So it's up on 1, down on 2, down on 3. That's how we pick that through that. We pick up on 1, down on 2, down on 3. All right, the second half of this intro is a little trickier, but I've modified it slightly just to make it a little easier for us. We're going to slide up from second string 3rd fret with our first finger, 3rd string 4th fret with our second finger. We're going to slide up 2 frets so we end up at 5 and 6. And we're going to include in our picking pattern there that open first string. So these two notes are going to be the same, right? So I'm picking hard down on strings 3 and 2 for the slide, and then up on 1, down on 2, down on 3, similar to what we played earlier. And then the tricky part, I'm going to take my pinky finger and add it to the 8th fret of the 3rd string. And after I've done that, quickly grab the open E chord. So the whole intro again in slow-mo. We don't smoke marijuana in Muskogee. We don't take no trips on LSD. We don't burn no draft cards out on the main street. We like living right, being free. We don't make a party out of loving. We like holding hands, pitching moves. We don't let our hair go long and shaggy. Imagine that. Like the hippies out in San Francisco do. Okay, let's move on to the chorus, and no big surprises here. There's no change in the chord pattern at all until we get to the key change, of course. But let's play through it, because I'm going to throw the harmony in, and for those of you with a good ear for vocal harmonies, you can pick that out and add that to the list of learning assignments for this song. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. And I'm proud to be an OKIE from Muskogee, a place where even squares can have a ball. We still wave Old Glory down at the courthouse, and white lightning's still the biggest thrill of all. Okay, let's talk about the key change, and it happens very, very quickly here. We're just coming out of the chorus, so we're playing the B chord. And white lightning's still the biggest thrill of all. like that. So again, playing the B chord. So when we get to the E, we play the E-B note combination with the strumming once. Then we slide up, and you can kind of pick a little bit of that C chord there if you want. But this is the transition. We're on the B note. We're on that note right there, and we slide that up to the C chord. I'm going to recommend that little climb up here, which is just C, D, E, and then grab the F chord. And we're in the new key. Okay, so let's try that one more time with lyrics. A 1, 2.
And white lightning's still the biggest thrill of all. Leather boots are still in style for manly footwear. Beads and Roman sandals won't be seen. Football's still the toughest thing on campus, and the kids here still respect the college dean.
Okay, let's scoot on over to the ending of the song. This is kind of funny because, again, watching one of those live versions, the doubling up of White Lightning's Still the Biggest Thrill of All as a lyric at the end of the song actually caused Merle Haggard some grief because he wanted to double up on it, and the rest of the band got right into the final line, which is in Muskogee, Oklahoma, USA. And you could see they sang two different things, and then he kind of looked at him and groaned and kind of laughed it off, which is, of course, the fun of playing live. But here's how it should end according to the original recording, and this is, of course, finishing up with the White Lightning line doubled up. And white lightning's still the biggest thrill of all. White lightning's still the biggest thrill of all. In Muskogee, Oklahoma, USA. Okay, well, the last thing I thought I'd show you is a little bit of the sort of picking work that can be added to this song just to fill in while the lyric is being sung. Remember, it's essentially a two-chord song shuttling back and forth, first from E to B, back to E, etc., and then later on from F to C, back and forth. But during that, what I'm hearing is some sort of country-style picking. Just that kind of stuff. It's very subtle, very gentle. And essentially what I'm doing there is playing the bar variety of E chord up on the 7th fret bar with the A formation there, and then the bar B chord here. And what I'm doing is just turning them into sus chords and picking through it. So the E becomes an E sus by adding my pinky to the 10th fret of the 2nd string, on and off, and pick through that a little bit. The B becomes a B sus by taking my pinky finger and moving it from the 9th fret of the 4th string to the 9th fret of the 3rd string. A little more carefully than that, of course. And then, of course, when it changes keys, you can do the same thing. When we're up in F and C. Another nice little run you can use is that run that takes us down from the E chord. Remember, we're doing this, so this nice little country run, and I hear this run in there is, and that's going from the double stop, which is the 9th fret, 2nd and 3rd strings, and you can pick back and forth through those like so, and then we go to 7 and 8 on the 2nd and 3rd strings, 5 and 6 on the 2nd and 3rd strings, and end up on 4 and 4, which of course is the B chord. So again, you can use that one. You can also use it going in the other direction. If you're switching from the B chord to the E chord. So those are just a couple things that you can do to spice up the guitar work in the middle of the song if you have accompaniment, or if you are the accompanist to the person that's playing. Okay, there you go. All right, fine tuning for OKIE from Muskogee. Very, very simple song, simple strumming pattern, 2-chord pattern with a nice key change from EB to FC, a little bit of picking work with the sus chords up here, and then with this kind of traditional country riff there. A simple song, the simple message. It became the anthem of sort of blue-collar / redneck America for years and years. And some of those values still hold true. Perspective from Merle Haggard. OKIE from Muskogee. We'll see you next time on Song Mentor.